Before diving into this incredible story, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell. Every story here has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. Amara Johnson was 34 years old. For the past 10 years, she had worked as a chambermaid at the Carlton Grand Hotel, a five-star establishment in the heart of Chicago, a symbol of luxury and exclusivity. Every day, she walked through its vast corridors adorned with Persian rugs, beneath sparkling crystal chandeliers, surrounded by expensive works of art and refined furniture. She observed the elegant, sometimes arrogant, guests who moved through this gilded world with disconcerting ease. But Amara also knew that, behind this veneer of wealth, she was often invisible, reduced to the role of mere servant. She had learned not to be affected by silent contempt, condescending glances, or barely veiled whispers. She was proud, yet discreet, knowing that her strength lay in her professional rigor and unwavering calm. Every corner of the hotel bore her mark: the perfectly folded sheets, the immaculate floors, the subtle scents she left behind. Her work was invisible, like her, yet essential. Her secret? A fierce determination to keep her dignity intact, to never give up despite the difficulties. The day began early and ended late, but she never complained. That morning, the crisp autumn air filtered through the wide-open windows of the presidential suite, making the white silk curtains dance. Amara had begun dusting the antique mahogany furniture when suddenly, the room's landline phone rang. She knew the phone well. It connected directly to the reception desk, a luxury reserved for the most prestigious clients. Without hesitation, she picked it up, answering in a calm, measured voice, the one she had patiently honed over the years. "Carlton Grand, Suite 502. Good morning," she said professionally. At the other end of the line, a deep, serious voice, imbued with natural authority, answered. "Hello, this is Nathaniel Hayes. I'd like to speak to the person in charge of cleaning this suite." The name immediately resonated in her mind. Nathaniel Hayes, the tech mogul, famous for founding several successful startups and for his colossal financial empire. A man known for his ruthlessness and uncompromising standards. Amara felt a slight shudder, but didn't let it show. She answered with her usual calm and professional manner. "It's me, ma'am. What can I do for you, Mr. Hayes?" A silence. Then, in that voice she knew only from newspapers and reports, he said simply, almost softly, "I would like to see you." Amara felt her heart beat a little faster. Never in 10 years had she been called directly by a client, let alone a millionaire of this stature. The invitation had a strange flavor, both intimidating and curious. What could he possibly want? A mistake? A compliment? Or something else? She gently placed the receiver, the weight of surprise mixed with a hint of anticipation. On that day, nothing would be the same. The next morning, Amara was called to the reception desk by a member of staff. Her name was spoken with a certain solemnity that left no doubt as to the nature of the invitation. She was being summoned to Nathaniel Hayes's private office at the top of the hotel. The walk to the elevator, then the last few steps down the hallway lined with thick carpets and walls adorned with contemporary art frames, seemed heavy with meaning. His simple uniform, impeccable but modest, contrasted with the opulence that surrounded him. Lacquered wood walls, Italian leather armchairs, a bookcase stocked with rare volumes. An almost sacred silence enveloped the space. When she entered the room, Nathaniel was already there, standing by the large bay window that offered a panoramic view of Chicago bathed in the morning light. He turned slowly and looked at her. His penetrating gaze wasn't meant to intimidate, but to understand. Amara felt a weight on her shoulders, the awareness of the social divide between them. But her face remained impassive, her bearing dignified. She had learned to mask her emotions in this world where weakness could be exploited. "Hello, Amara," Nathaniel said, his voice calm but firm. "You have a distinctive voice. It's not just a voice, it's a presence. Who are you, really?" The question was direct, almost intimate. Amara straightened, feeling her heart beat a little faster. Her voice, when she answered, was clear, straight. "I'm a maid. I do my job as best I can, Mr. Hayes." He gave a smile, not mocking, but tinged with curiosity. "I read somewhere that you have a degree in literature, with honors even. Why work here, then?" The weight of the question caused Amara's mask of serenity to waver for a moment. She lowered her eyes slightly, then mustered the strength to answer, knowing she was opening a door to a past she usually kept secret. Life hasn't always been easy. I had to put my dreams on hold to provide for my family. My father fell ill, my mother works part-time. I took this job to ensure my brothers and sisters had everything they needed. But I continue to read, to learn, to hope. Literature is my refuge, my secret world. Nathaniel sat down slowly in a leather armchair, leaning back on the armrest, his gaze softening, almost admiring. You have courage, Amara. Many people in my position wouldn't even take the time to consider someone like you. Yet, I see something genuine in you, a strength that money can't buy. A silence fell, filled with respect and tension. Amara sensed that a rare moment was unfolding, a suspended moment where two worlds met, ready to understand each other beyond appearances. In the following days, a strange ballet took place between Amara and Nathaniel. The latter, usually inaccessible and surrounded by an army of assistants, took the time to invite her to several discussions in his private office. Each meeting became a window onto two radically opposed worlds, yet curiously linked by the same quest, to understand, to learn, to move forward. Nathaniel truly wanted to penetrate Amara's world, a world he knew only through cliches or the hotel's gilded exterior. He asked her precise, attentive, and sometimes painful questions. What were her ambitions? Her unspoken dreams? Her frustrations buried beneath years of silence? Amara, cautious at first, eventually opened up, finding in these exchanges a kind of echo of her own quest for humanity. They spoke at length about racism, that dull shadow that crept everywhere, even into the most refined corners of the Carlton Grand. Amara described to him the invisible wall, made of quick judgments and fixed opinions, that separated the world of luxury from that of daily survival. She spoke of the weight of stares, the silences heavy with innuendo, the difficulty of being heard when you were the color of your skin, and the weight of your origins. Nathaniel, in turn, did not shy away. He confessed that he too had been trapped by his own prejudices, that his world of power and money had given him a narrow view of reality. "You're opening my eyes, Amara," he said one day with rare sincerity. "I have the power to act, and I refuse to turn a blind eye to what's happening around me anymore." This sentence resonated like a silent pact between them. Then, with a boldness that surprised Amara, Nathaniel proposed something unexpected. "I want to help you change things. Not just for you, but for all those who, like you, remain invisible in this world, stuck behind these walls of indifference and injustice." Together, they envisioned an ambitious project, a training and support program for hotel employees from disadvantaged backgrounds. The goal was clear: to offer real opportunities, prospects for advancement, and to break the glass ceiling that so many unassuming but talented workers encountered every day. But the road ahead was fraught with obstacles. Many in the hotel, including some executives, were skeptical, even hostile to the idea. Why change a system that had worked until then? Why give opportunities to those who were preferred to be kept in the shadows? Amara had to fight, using all her patience and energy to convince, to mobilize, to prove that this project was not a whim, but a necessity. Little by little, the results began to appear. Previously invisible colleagues began to receive training, gain skills, and be offered more rewarding positions. The atmosphere in the hotel evolved. The attention paid to employees changed, and with it, a new form of respect was born. Amara quickly became the poster child for this change. Not just a maid, but a leader, a voice for those who had long been silenced. Her story and her struggle inspired other establishments and businesses. In this world of crystal and appearances, Amara now made something else shine: the strength of dignity, the power of hope, and the promise of a fairer future. One winter evening, as the lights of Chicago twinkled through the Carlton Grand's floor-to-ceiling windows, a lavish reception was in full swing in the hotel's main ballroom. This was no ordinary evening. Tonight, Nathaniel Hayes had decided to bring together influential figures from business, media, and philanthropy. But more than anything, it was an opportunity to amplify a voice that had, until then, been ignored. Amara was invited to join the guests, no longer wearing her maid's uniform, but an elegant gown carefully chosen by a stylist friend. An outward transformation, certainly, but she remained herself, proud, dignified, and deeply aware of how far she had come. As Nathaniel stepped onto the stage, a respectful silence fell. His gaze swept over the assembly before settling on Amara, standing beside him, her face lit with a mixture of emotion and determination. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "tonight I want to celebrate an exceptional woman. A woman who, through her courage and humanity, reminded me what dignity, strength, and hope truly mean. Amara Johnson." A murmur ran through the room. Then applause erupted, sincere, warm. Amara felt her heart race. She also felt the weight of all those years, all those silent struggles that had led to this moment. When it was her turn to speak, she stepped up to the microphone, her hands trembling slightly, but her voice firm and clear. "What we're doing here tonight," she said, "is not an end. It's not the end of a story, but a beginning. A commitment, a pact between us all, to build a future where no one will be judged by their appearance, their skin color, or their social standing." She paused, letting her words sink in. "I speak on behalf of all those who, like me, have long been invisible. Invisible in the hallways of these hotels, in the offices, on the streets. This program we launched together is just one step toward greater justice, toward true inclusion. We must keep moving forward, together." Her gaze met Nathaniel's, who gave her a knowing, proud smile. Amara continued, with the strength of all the experiences that had shaped her. "Dignity is not a privilege, but a fundamental right. And each of us, regardless of our place in society, has the power to make a difference. Tonight, I am not just a maid, but a bearer of hope." The applause redoubled, and several journalists rushed to capture every word, every emotion. From that evening on, Amara's life changed profoundly. She continued to work at the hotel, but now in an expanded role as coordinator of the support and integration program. She had become a symbol, an inspiring voice for her colleagues and beyond. Nathaniel, for his part, publicly committed to transforming his businesses into models of inclusion, social responsibility, and equity. Together, they launched initiatives in several cities, influencing other leaders to follow their example. Their paths, which seemed so far apart at first, had come together in the same quest to overcome invisible barriers, break the chains of silence, and build a fairer, more humane world.